Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Brent Brookhouse from Flow Slam here, along with the hottest free agent in wrestling, Ethan Page. It's time for another episode of the Bitter Boys Club. How you doing, Ethan?
What up? I'm doing great. Crazy weekend.
Yeah, a little bit. I was there for part of it. Obviously, we got together at Freelance Wrestling this past weekend on Friday night to record Another Way to Get Paid with DJZ, which was an amazing interview that went all kinds of weird.
Oh, just the fact. Yes, just watch it. It's on. What's the easiest link to get that?
Oh, it's right on the front page of Flow Slam right now, but I will also put a link in the notes for the episode, and it's all over my Twitter and yours right now. So we'll make sure we keep pushing that out there.
Perfect. Yeah, check it out. It was a great interview, but like you said, there were so many things that just kept interrupting and screwing up, and your tripod broke, and
Yeah, this time I was the one that was on time because I'm used to the Chicago traffic to where I knew when to leave on a Friday night.
so were we. But we ended up getting caught in traffic even before Chicago because I guess there was a closure on the highway. But I'm coming from 9 hours, so
Right.
yeah,
Was it Indiana where you guys got bogged down?
a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, Indiana's a nightmare right now. Um, yeah, so the interview with DJZ was really good. We got interrupted by an old guy who asked someone if they wanted to see some naked people.
And then some other dude coming in being a jerk, and then Eric Cannon being Eric Cannon. But other than that, it was a good experience, and you can watch it for free right now.
Yeah, which you definitely should do. But then the night of freelance stuff got really, really weird.
Holy, this was like the most cursed show on earth.
Yeah, the very first, it was the first real like move exchange of the first match. I can't remember the guys' names. I don't have it in front of me, but there was it was just a basic you know, I think it was like a snapmare into a knee or something, and the knee connected so flush that the guy on the receiving end was knocked out cold, and he wasn't moving for the longest time.
Yeah, well, the EMTs in ambulance had to show up and kind of wheelchair him out, and it just sucked the energy out of the whole room and the vibe, and obviously stuff like that is never good, and nobody ever wants that to happen. But it happened again 2 more times.
It happened 2 more times because I mean.
So the tag match with DJZ, Gringo Loco, and the 2 guys from DTU from Mexico. Gringo Loco did a lion salt, and his knees landed on top of one of the guys from DTU's head. And you could see they kept trying to run part of the match, but his legs gave out on him, I think on a Hurricane Rana. And so there was that. But he ended up just kind of toughing it out and continuing. Then later on in the main event, Space Monkey did a dive to the floor with 0 people catching him and ended up hitting his head and snoring on the floor, which absolutely sucks as one of his, I'll admit it at least today, his friends.
Well, yeah, I was up on the stage side at that point, sitting on the stage. So from my vantage point, it looked like his legs got partially caught, which slammed his head down even more.
That's actually exactly what happened. So this is gonna piss me off just talking about it because it's I don't want people to see the video because it'll ruin my wrestling career. It's so incriminating. It makes me look like I don't care about him at all. So I was in the match as well, and so Space Monkey starts going up. He's going to do a corkscrew moonsault off the top rope. I see nobody's around to disperse the weight of this dive. I mean, he looks athletic, but he's heavy as shit. So I pull over Shug D. I'm just going to give you the whole play-by-play. Screw it. So I pull over Shug D, and I was like, yo, dive. And he keeps walking all the way back away from the dive. So I'm like, okay. And then I look up and there's Space Monkey about to go. So I'm like, all right, cool. At least there's these guys behind me. Because Stevie Fierce was hitting me in the back. So Space Monkey dives, and I step in closer to make sure his head doesn't hit the apron or the floor and kind of guide him onto the pile. Nope, right through my hands. They only catch his feet and knees and pretty much powerbomb him shoulder first on the floor, and he ended up hitting the side of his head on the floor, like his temple, and instantly snoring. So like I go down with him, I check on him, he's snoring, I'm freaking out, and I'm like, fuck, my friend is fucking dead. As soon as I realized he's snoring, I was like, okay, he's unconscious, but at least, I don't know, his body's reacting. The next thing that's supposed to happen is a power bomb to the floor. So I'm freaking out. Darren Corbin's like, yo, get up. I need you for this. And I look up, and there's a naked-assed Rob Matter getting powerbombed to the floor by Kobe Durst. To their credit, they did not know that that Space Monkey was injured on the floor. They were just like, oh, this is what's next, so let's do what's next. So I'm literally standing almost over top of Space Monkey, and another body is getting thrown directly on top of Space Monkey. So I catch him almost in a German suplex and try and jump into the crowd / chairs as best as I can to protect Space Monkey. The next thing was Kobe Durst doing a springboard moonsault to the outside. And as he's like about to jump, you could see me slap his leg audibly and go to the left, like as loud as I could. So he did. He did the moonsault. But all this action's going on while people know Space Monkey's injured on the floor. So it just sucked. And then no one was saying anything about him getting eliminated. I don't know if people were stupid and thought he'd come back. So once Eric Cannon came to the floor and he was like, hey, I got Space Monkey, I was like, okay, please take care of him. I'm going to wrap this match up as fast as I can. It was just a shitty situation. And then we come upstairs after the match. Space Monkey's kind of coming to. The EMTs again got called, which we don't have traveler's insurance as like wrestlers. So we would have ended up getting caught with the bill, which is insane. I heard just taking ambulance is like $1,000. Is that true?
Oh, absolutely, at least.
Yeah, so the EMTs are trying to take him to the hospital, and I'm thinking, like, we just hit a deer last week. He has to pay for a new car. I don't think, like, I'm trying to think for him, but he's also, like, not 100% there. So I don't want to, like, avoid a hospital visit if it's going to save his life, but also if it's not, like, important. Not that his health isn't important, but I'm saying
if it's that you're gonna go there, the doctor's gonna shine a light in his eyes and then say, yeah, it's a concussion, take it easy, don't let him go to sleep, then
yeah, he doesn't need to pay $7,000 for that.
Right.
So I'm legitimately first of all, I was the first and only person to apologize to him to his face. I said sorry right away because everyone in that match is at fault. If I knew I would have been the only body catching him, I would have caught him myself. I've caught him myself many times, but I thought there was 6 of us, but there wasn't, and not one person apologized to him. So suck my wiener. You're all a-holes. Yeah, and nobody apologized till after Stevie Fierce sent him a text apologizing. But man, what a mess. I could not believe it. So we didn't let Space Monkey drive for the rest of the trip, which led us to the next day, which was Proving Ground Pro, which is about 4 hours to the side of Chicago. But yeah, man, what a mess.
Yeah, like the entire row behind me left when he got knocked out and you guys kept going with the match, which is... It's a shit situation because it's the main event. It's a huge angle that Freelance has been building, but he's unconscious on the ground. So the entire row behind me got pissed off and left.
Because nobody wants to see that.
Right, and it feels like, all right, everything should stop, but then I think it was not that you could keep going in the first match because the guy was knocked out in the middle of the ring. But, like, there was a girl that had to sit in a chair because she almost fainted because, like, the dude didn't move his arms or legs for, like, probably 20 minutes. So it was like, did something happen and this dude's neck broke? Or Like, so this girl's about to pass out. Then in the last match, people are leaving because it's like, why aren't they stopping? And they're not announcing that he's eliminated, like you said, but I think that's because the announcer's also the one trying to figure out the EMTs and everything.
Yeah, and it sucked.
I mean, you made the call he was eliminated.
Well, I had to because he's just laying there. What the hell do people think? And I don't want anyone to be like, "Hey, are you getting back in the match?" F him. He's out. So like I'm telling the ref, like, hey, announce that he's eliminated so we can finish this match and just end the show because clearly it is not going well.
And from my spot, I mean, you guys did rush through the rest of that match, right?
Oh, yes.
Okay, I mean, I assumed so, and, you know, I can't really put myself in the position of having to finish a match, especially a Survivor Series elimination match with a ton of guys when you just saw your friend knocked out so bad that he's literally snoring on the ground.
Yes, literally snoring. And it was honest to God, it was like an old ass computer rebooting.
Yeah. After the show, I was standing around because I was like, at the very least, I should try to say goodbye to everybody, but I don't know if anybody's coming. And I was about to just like box your shit up and walk it up, like all your merch and stuff, because at that point there's nobody at the merch table, but there's a lot of stragglers standing around, and I'm like, I don't want all their shit to get jacked. But then somebody finally came and boxed it all up for you. But
yeah,
it was
very nice staff at Freelance did that for us. And like I was dealing with the EMTs, then the police, and it was just what a mess.
Well, yeah, and then the police were standing outside when I was going to leave, and they were like, I just don't get why he doesn't want to go to the hospital. Why wouldn't he want to go to the hospital? It's like, well, it's a ridiculous amount of money.
Yep.
So that was Freelance. And another thing is I really, really like Freelance. Like, the vibe that they've built and everything is really fun, and it's the first time I've ever been at any show where there was multiple clean knockouts like that, let alone Freelance, which I've never really seen anything go horribly wrong.
I've never been on a show with that many like genuine injuries. Like, obviously I've been at people get knocked loopy, like I've gotten concussions, and like you just keep going, but like this was like sucking the life out of the entire company. And I just felt so bad for the promoter, Matt Nix, just because like he has no control over it. He's just watching all of these people he hired get viciously injured. And it's not stuff that's like wild. Like, no one's trying to do a Canadian destroyer off the top to the floor. Obviously, okay, if someone gets injured, that there's the risk level is high. Not to say a dive isn't risky, but with wrestling now, you see dives in almost every match. So, and
that's like a standard Space Monkey spot, also. So
yeah,
it's not like he just decided to bust out some new crazy shit. It's his standard thing. Like I said, the first one was just the very first sequence of moves.
Well, yeah, because all the wrestlers, I'll give you the people that didn't see it. We're all in the back getting ready, and we hear no reaction for this opening match. And usually the scramble match at the beginning of Freelance is like crazy hot fire, and people are going ape shit about it. So I look to the promoter and I'm like, yo, this is weird. Like, no one's making any noise. He's like, yeah, what the hell? And we open the door, and all we see is someone laying in the ring and people running to check on him. So then Matt Nix is like, oh, damn, he starts running down to see what's going on, and there we were.
Yeah, and it was really, like, where I was standing, I had a very clean shot where I saw the knee hit, and I was like, oh, he's out. Like, that landed so clean. But the guy who threw it, and I cannot remember his name. He was the crab guy from Louisiana. That's all I remember. But he goes from the knee into a standing moonsault and hits it, and then like kind of gives a weird look and then goes for a pin. And it's like, yeah, that dude's not kicking out. So it was really a really weird night.
Yeah.
So the next night, what? What
Yeah,
went
let's
on
get to, I don't want to say more positive because I don't want to just skim over my friend getting injured. But the next day we went out to Proving Ground Pro, which I was very grateful for because of the cancellation of Wrestle Circus. This was the substitute last minute addition. So I thank Proving Ground Pro for that. Big shout out to them. And they had a Southside World title match with myself and Blake Balakis. I can't say his name. I keep screwing it up, but it was really good, and I enjoyed it. The end of the match had fans rush the ring and pound the mat. So, yeah, it was fun, especially for me. You know, and I felt bad too because like the last minute addition obviously added to the budget, and like I don't know, it's indie wrestling. They didn't know if it would pay off or not. And so at least knowing that the fans enjoyed it enough to, you know, pound the mat, then the promoter at least felt like, yeah, he got his money's worth. So I was very happy for that.
Yeah, that's good. And you said Space Monkey rode with, right? And
yeah, so he rode with, didn't end up driving at all.
So were you guys struggling to like keep him awake?
Yes. So, well, I shouldn't say that because we didn't struggle, and he had his Nintendo Switch and his phone, so he was fine. But then when we got back to the hotel, he's like, "Oh man, I really want to sleep." So we just Googled like, should we let someone with a concussion sleep? And it was saying as long as he wasn't stumbling his words and his walk and his like if he could walk and he stayed awake for I think 2 or 3 hours after the impact, then he'd be fine. So we were like, "Yeah, go ahead, go to sleep."
All right, good. Well, and he's doing good otherwise, because that was something that a lot of people were asking about.
Yeah, and he's recovering quick. But the actual worst part about the injury wasn't to his head; it was to his shoulder. He separated it, hitting the floor. So that is the reason I'm sure he'll miss a couple shows, not because of the head injury. Obviously, let your brain heal, but yeah, sucks big time.
Yeah, that was very scary stuff. So let's talk about some other stuff. Hey, let's talk about Tim Storm.
Okay. It's an interesting topic.
I don't know. It's like become one of the topics in the indies right now. Is you know, the NWA put out the series of videos that, you know, caught attention, brought a good amount of attention to Storm and the NWA title, and now the dude's kind of everywhere.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
Well, okay, I don't mean he's like getting booked everywhere, but I think if you look through, you know, Twitter, it seems like everybody, including yourself, is making mention of him and the title.
So the only reason, so I don't like discussing things online unless there's like merit to it or business to be had. So I'm currently politicking to do business with NWA. So there's like an end goal. I wouldn't just openly tweet like, "Hey, give me title shot," or "Hey, do this and do that," because I just feel like if you're doing that and nothing comes of it, you kind of just look like a big idiot.
Right, but I think there's multiple people right now who are doing the same thing, angling for some sort of involvement right now.
Right. But I'm saying like just tweeting it and actually discussing behind the scenes, much different.
Right. Obviously that's a bit different, but I'm just curious, is it, I don't know, I guess just your feelings on this sudden boost of relevance for somebody that, you know, really was not a name, like as much as kind of the, I don't know, the smarky Twitter fan base is acting like this is a guy that they've really been keeping an eye on. Like nobody.
I think it's ironic.
You think they're trying to be ironic, or you think it is ironic?
No, I think they're trying to be ironic. Like,
I'd say yes and no.
Okay.
There's some that clearly are trying to be like, haha, yeah, I'm all about this guy. There's also a segment that have to seem like they're constantly ahead of the curve. So,
oh, okay, I get what you're saying. So they're jumping on this before everybody else, so that they could be like, "Hey, I told you."
right. But I guess my bigger question is just like, what are your thoughts on kind of the weird sudden relevance of the NWA title again?
I think it's cool because it gives another angle for guys that are keeping busy. It's like another tool or prop or, I guess, attention grabber. Like if I was to end up getting an NWA World Title match as one of the hottest free agents, or no, sorry, the hottest free agent in wrestling, it would just be another kind of chapter in this story that I'm telling of me showing up everywhere. So for me, it's almost like another option or avenue to kind of give my character, and then that's a lot for other people as well. I think Tim Storm as the vehicle for it, I don't know, it wouldn't be my first draft pick, but I mean it's working. So who am I to say that he's not the right guy for the job?
Yeah, I mean the story is at the very least interesting. Just the idea of this guy kind of out of nowhere and definitely not the guy that you would normally think a company would want to go with. Having this little run. I mean, he's had the title for forever, but having this run in kind of the public, I mean, nobody really was paying attention prior to these videos and, Billy Corgan and all that. So, I think it's at the very least an interesting story for a little bit. It'll just be, I'm curious where they go next and what that means for them. But I'm a big old school wrestling fan, so I just really love seeing the NWA title like in the world.
Oh, I love it too. And like it kind of reminds me of when Adam Pearce had the title and he was working with Ring of Honor and they would do NWA title defenses at ROH. So like I loved that stuff. And like him and Brent Albright had a great match for the title on one of the pay-per-views in Philadelphia. I was there live and loved it, but it's just there's so much history with the title and the company that it's so hard to ignore. If promoted properly, there's automatic prestige and like allure.
Yeah, and I mean, for anybody that has the opportunity to hold that title, like, your name goes on, like, the list. Like, maybe not the list over the last 20 years or, 30 years, whatever it is, but, like, the lineage of that title is still amazing. So,
oh, yeah, for sure. Like, that's what I'm saying is, like, to know that like Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes held that title, and that's something that could end up on any independent wrestler's waist right now, just by the way things are going. Like the NWA title is going to be at freaking Cage of Death. That doesn't even make sense. Like those 6 letters should never be said together, but here we are.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. You're also going to be at Cage of Death, so opportunities.
Yeah, and I mean they keep tagging me in their freaking tweets with this old man's face on them. So like I guess my message to him or my tweet to him got his attention, but it should be interesting. It'll be interesting if there's a live mic because there's just so much material.
All right, so what do you want to do right now? Do you want to do some of these questions that came in? Do you want to talk about what's coming up, or should we save that for the end of the show?
Oh, there was like 14 replies on that image that I tweeted, so let's do some questions and get that rocking and rolling.
Okay, I really like this one. It's from @PocketVolcano on Twitter. What's the one thing in wrestling that if you could get rid of, you would? It can be a move, a gimmick, anything.
Oh, geez. I would get rid of anything that drops somebody on their head.
Just any move at all.
Yeah. And by drop them on their head, I mean legitimately drops them on their head. Like Burning Hammer, Canadian Destroyer, like a high shoulder power bomb, German suplex, dragon suplex, tiger suplex. Get rid of all that crap.
I can definitely agree on the Canadian Destroyer, if nothing else.
Reverse Rana.
Yeah, the reverse Rana that could go, but the Canadian Destroyer that would be it.
Yeah, Petey Williams is back, guys. Cut it out.
At the very least, cut it out. 3 times a match, every match. All right. Other than Josh, who is your dream opponent in PWA Canada?
Oh, you know what? I'd like to go with a guy named Eazy-E, Eric Kearney. This is very specific to this fan's question, but yeah, he would be my pick.
Okay. Yeah, I know nothing about PWA Canada to speak to if that's awesome or not.
Okay.
And that was at Braden Austin. I'm going to try to be better at giving people direct shout-outs. Kristen Mendoza says, will we see James Ellsworth at a future A1 wrestling show?
I would love to do that. If at all possible, I would love to book Stokely Hathaway versus James Ellsworth.
Oh my god, that would be the most amazing thing you could possibly do.
Yeah, in a wrestling match? Oh man, that'd be amazing.
And Ellsworth is just like my favorite story of the year anyway. So, going back to 2016, so that's awesome. Same guy, do you like tequila? I know he had asked this after we had recorded last week, so you told him to get it in for this week.
I do, actually. That is my drink of choice if I'm going to influence myself with alcohol, which is usually responsibly and only at special events. And by special events, I mean a wedding, and that's pretty much it. Or like a bachelor party, but I mean, I don't have too many close friends, so... Josh Alexander already got married, so there was my bachelor party.
So tequila as your drink of choice is just a straight tequila shot, or what are we talking?
So it has to be chilled, and it has to be gold, and there has to be a lime. I'm not a salt person, but if everyone else is doing it, I'll do it. Yeah, tequila just goes down easy, especially if it's good. It's a good quality, super tasty, delicious. But as far as like drinking beverage, I would probably go with a big Blue Moon or Blue Lagoon. I don't know which one it is. They're different in Canada and America. Same beer, and a Shock Top, either or.
Okay. At Superb Hunger, Ethan Page or Marty Squirrel?
Squirrel?
Yes, followed up with a why question mark.
Well, I would say Marty Squirrel sounds pretty dope. So I would pick the squirrel.
Over yourself.
Yes.
Decade Mark, when are we teaming?
Oh my god. Whenever you get me a booking. If you can get us booked as a tag team, I'll be there.
All right. Wade Buswell, if you could book any match, what would it be and why?
If I could book any match, it would be myself versus The Rock, because obviously that's the best thing ever. If I could book any match that didn't involve myself, oh man, that's kind of tough. Oh, geez, I don't know. You're a wrestling fan. What would your number one, like if you could book any match, what would it be?
Jesus, I didn't even think about this.
For my own entertainment, if I could book The Rock versus Batista in a singles match, and we're talking like WrestleMania caliber, like that big stage, big drama, like 3 months of build, that would be epic.
Yeah. Shit, man, I can't even think. No, because I'm just thinking, like, there's got to be a way that I can get The Rock on this podcast.
Oh, yeah, right.
I'm a very influential man. I am one of 128 people that Daniel Bryan follows, so...
Oh, damn. Get Daniel Bryan on this podcast. What the hell are you waiting for? Slide into those DMs. Get unfollowed right away.
I was going to say that's the best way for me to pick up a quick unfollow there.
But I guess if we're talking indie, I would love to see Alex Shelley versus Ricochet.
All right, that's good.
Because I don't think their paths have crossed. At least not this current in his prime Ricochet has fallen into that Ring of Honor group of people. And Alex Shelley, although kind of sliding under the radar right now, at a time was, if not the best wrestler on the independents. I think those two guys would absolutely murder it.
Are you recording this from your car?
No.
Okay, there's a lot of dinging.
Oh, it's a laundry machine. Hold on.
It's really okay. I just wasn't sure.
No. If you're angry about it, give me 2 seconds.
I'm really not. It's
hit pause, Brent.
Okay, so kind of keeping with somebody that I just brought up, I'm just curious. What are your thoughts on the constantly talked about potential return of Daniel Bryan to the Indies?
I love it. Obviously, if it's his choice, I mean, I see no issues with it. I don't want someone to be forced out and not make all that money he's probably making. But I think for someone with his passion for professional wrestling, it would be epic to see what he does on the Indies. And it would be on the same level or bigger than when Cody came, just because he has that past reputation.
Oh, it'd be so much bigger. And that's not a shot at Cody at all. It's just that, Cody's career didn't quite peak at the same level of Daniel Bryan, nor was there years of anticipation to see him get back in the ring. So
true. That's true.
It would be huge. I was just curious where you stood, the concussion thing and
I mean, it's like, I guess through the rumor mill, apparently he's been cleared, but not by the WWE doctors. I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, he straight up said, he said as much in a recent interview that he's cleared outside of, that one doctor, which is the same thing he's been saying for quite a while. So
yeah, so I mean, that sucks. Imagine that mental stress of just being at, was he on SmackDown?
Yeah.
Yeah, being at SmackDown and watching everybody perform, and he's just got to hold the microphone. That would suck.
Decade Mark, who asked when you were going to work with him, also asked, why are you so over?
Because I work really hard. Yeah, I would just go with that.
Okay, you know what? We talked about the knockouts earlier. We just talked about the Daniel Bryan concussion thing. And as further teaser and more reason to go see the DJZ interview, you mentioned on there that you got concussed by, I think it was an AR Fox 450.
Yeah.
How many concussions do you think you've had?
I'm not answering that. Imagine WWE listened to this episode and was like, oh, wow, this guy had 7,000 concussions, which is not even close to the number, but...
Fair enough, but also imagine WWE listening to this podcast.
Right.
All right, so, yeah, concussions, cool. How excited are you for Final Act 8?
Oh, dude, so excited. You have no idea. Super nervous, though, I'm not going to lie. I've never been this nervous for a show that I've promoted in the entire 7+ years of promoting shows. Just talking to you about it makes me nervous.
And what exactly is it that's making you so nervous about it?
How expensive it is?
Okay. That's an honest answer.
Yeah, I'm just being as honest as possible. And I look at Alpha One like such a business that I'm just trying to explain this properly without sounding like a complete asshole, but if it doesn't make sense to me to spend money that won't actually get made. And it was never my intention to book this many people. It kind of just fell in my lap in a way that I had no control of. Well, I obviously had control, but so what had happened was AIW was interested in bringing Jody Fleisch in from England. And I mentioned that I would be running that Sunday. So if they could find something for him on Saturday, I would definitely be interested. So there was that possibility. Then C4 Wrestling was interested in Keith Lee, who wasn't getting back to them. So I kind of wrote that off, but again, made the same agreement that if they could get it and he could get something on the Friday, I would do it because they're Saturday, I would be Sunday. But there was no confirmation. What had happened was Jody Fleisch got confirmed. Thumbs up. All right, cool. I need an opponent for him. So I booked DJZ. So now DJZ's on the show, Jody Fleisch's on the show. And I figured, oh, that's plenty. Then the Keith Lee thing went through. So I said, well, I told you I would, so fine. So we have Keith Lee now. Then in October, everything's already booked. Like the show is booked. Cody comes to Oshawa on October 1st. That's a big show. He goes, hey, what am I doing in November? And I was like, what? He's like, well, November 26th. That's a big show, right? Like, yep. He's like, what am I doing? I was like, well, the show's already booked and I already have 9 matches. So what do you think about refereeing a match? He's like, I love it. Originally, it was supposed to be in a cage, but the guy that rented the cage wanted way too much money that it made 0 sense to do. So that went out the window. But yeah, so now we have this huge match with Cody Rhodes, special guest ref, which is pretty dope. And it kind of just fell in my lap, and I wasn't in control of anything. So this chaotic event that ended up happening, I'm hoping for the best.
Right, and I think you've talked a lot about, that your mind, I mean, you treat this as a business as much as humanly possible. Like, pro wrestling overall is your business.
Right.
So you're not booking a promotion because it's just some vanity project that you feel like doing, and who cares if you lose money.
Exactly.
Right, so it's got to have the returns, but this just piled up into a massive show that is so big that you had to tell Cody Rhodes, well, there's no room for you on the card, but you can ref a match.
Well, I was like, because this is the payoff show. This is our WrestleMania. So there's no way around booking certain people because of what they've done all throughout the entire year. And then there's the add-ins to make sure that the car rides are easier for the wrestlers. So then we have a freaking Royal Rumble. Like, who does that? What? Like, I don't want to do a Royal Rumble, but I got to get fit people on the show.
And Wade, who asked that question, also asked if you know if Space Monkey is going to be able to wrestle, with everything that happened.
From what I've been gathering, he will be appearing, and he's in the Royal Rumble for the Outer Limits title, and he hasn't canceled on me, so I'll take him at his word that he'll be there and he'll be ready to perform.
All right. Good deal. Petty Confetti said, please tell us about your time in Chikara and why you hate them.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't really enjoy my time in Chikara because Mike Quackenbush is like a condescending jerk, and he tried to stiff me on my pay on more than one occasion. I met him and worked for him maybe like 3 times, maybe 4. Drove out to Philadelphia and made sure other wrestlers made it there on time. So one weekend I drove from Hamilton to Montreal, which is 5 hours, picked up the Super Smash Brothers and Shane Hawk, then drove them to Philly, which is 8 hours, then did it all the way back and all the way home for no gas money, just kind of paid out of my own pocket like a big jabroni. Didn't end up getting on the show. I've already worked for Mike at that point. I was trying to continue our relationship, which whatever. So at least he for sure knew who I was. Then later on, as my career progressed, AIW booked me in was that National Pro Wrestling Day, the first one where they actually shared it with other companies instead of just did it all in house. So they did National Pro Wrestling Day. AIW booked myself versus Josh Alexander. I went to go say hi to Mike Quackenbush, and he was around all his Chikara people, and he was like, "Oh, hi, Reckless Youth, nice to meet you." And it was very like, get away from me, like very bad body language. And I was like, "Oh, sure, Mike. I mean, I've worked for you before, but if you want to be a dick, no big deal." And ever since then, I was just like, F this guy. I have no reason to respect him. He doesn't respect me, especially after he tried to stiff me on pay. I've worked for him before. He's a sociopath. And I've heard some personal things about him that I disagree with as far as morality goes when you're a celebrity, or I'm doing air quotes right now. Yeah, your life choices are reflected by the people that support you. So anyways, enough about them.
Also,
I didn't like it very much.
Also, you have an 0-4 record in Chikara.
Oh, I don't really care about that.
I know. I just was pulling up to see how many matches you had worked there since you said 3 or 4.
I'll lose in Chicago. I'll lose anywhere every day. I don't really care about that. But yeah, I just wasn't a fan of the way he treated myself. Oh, and then he tried to book myself and Josh Alexander for a show once in Boston and told us he would give us $50 each, and we had to just drive there and back on our own dime. And by this time, we were doing very well. So I was like, oh, this guy is a complete idiot.
All right. How much you deadlift on Twitter? Asked in-depth thoughts on Smash Wrestling.
It's a show?
Yeah, that's a lot to ask for in-depth thoughts on them, but
yeah, it's a show in Canada. I don't think it's as good as Alpha One. I only say that because we tell stories and they spend money. Oh man, they got some douchey people working for them though. So I went to this show in Buffalo, which is like, I don't know, an hour and a half from me, maybe 2 hours from Toronto. And this jabroni's backstage with his laptop editing Smash TV, another air quote thing, because they're not making money off of it. Yeah, so he's editing Smash TV in the back of another show's locker room just to kind of be like, hey, look what I'm doing. And then all the jabronis and Smash t-shirts are all just sitting around like, oh, that graphic is so good. Oh, look at this. Look at that. And it just drives me nuts that like, don't act like that. Just stay home. If that's what you have to do, don't go to the show. Like, no one needs to see you do that. It's just so, makes me want to vomit. I just wish people knew how to conduct themselves as professionals.
I should have done that at freelance. I should have sat there after the interview while the show was going on, like in the crowd editing the interview.
Dude,
I think it would have made me look super important.
It's fine. You were requested to meet at that place, but it makes no sense. Just go home and edit it.
I guess this last one kind of leads into what's coming up fairly well. Actually, we didn't do your who's a guy that Ethan Page thinks is a guy that is a guy you should be on the lookout for guy.
That's what it is. I thought so. I would go with Mark Wheeler, who is from the area. I do book him for Alpha One. He ended up getting added last minute to the Proving Ground Pro show. It was like, hey, if you drive, we don't know if you'll get booked kind of thing. He just did it anyways. So good for him. Paid off into an opportunity, which is what every independent wrestler is just looking for, is that 1, 2, 3 opportunities to, get your foot in the door in these companies and grow. So he did very well, and I was very proud of him. That was Proving Ground Pro. Freelance, who stuck out to me. That's so tough because of the, that.
Oh no, I mean that the knockout in the first match set such a weird tone for the whole night where every single move, and like I could act like I was clairvoyant when Space Monkey climbed up for the dive. I was like, oh, please don't do this right now, because it just felt like, but it was the whole show. It was hard to watch and not feel like something else was going to go wrong Like,
yeah,
the
man. Oh, you
entire
know who
show.
I will also add to the list? We'll just do 2 from Proving Ground Pro because the freelance thing that's a wash. That doesn't count. The next day, I saw Mance Warner wrestle Shane Saber, and they had a great match. And so Mance Warner asked me to watch this match, which I despise because I hate giving advice because I don't know shit. So I watched this match. I really enjoyed it. Then he told me he'd only been wrestling for 2 years. That just bumped him up to like a next level for like how comfortable he seemed in the ring and like his presence and the way he moved. It was so smooth and easy. I just give him great credit for what he's been able to accomplish personally in 2 years. So yeah, check him out, Mance Warner.
All right, one more thing before we get to the what's coming up, because I got reminded of this last week and forgot to ask again. On the first show, I asked if you wanted to hear your lowest review on cagematch.net. And you said
Sure.
we'll do that next show.
Let's do it.
So you have, in their ratings, you have 14 nines, 10 eights, 12 sevens, 4 sixes, and 1 5.
Oh, so the lowest is 5.
Yeah, which, not too bad.
That's still a pass, 50%, right?
I mean, definitely not if we're talking school and the percentage you need to pass anything.
Really? In Canada, if you have a 50%, that's a pass.
Okay, well, America's not doing so hot that I can take some weird shot at Canada or anything. So your 5.0 is Ethan Page is one of the better wrestlers to come out of Ontario, Canada, where he's dominated the Ontario indie scene in essentially any fashion as a main event, mid-card, or tag wrestler. Though his visibility is increasing as he makes appearances for ROH, Shikara, and Evolve. This was in May of 2015.
Oh, okay, so this is kind of old.
Right, he can solidify his chances of catching on with a secondary or perhaps even major promotion by increasing his muscle mass and improving his promo work.
Oh, I agree with one of those, disagree with the other.
Also, real bummed that I didn't have some just like hot, awful shit that somebody took on you just for the reaction. But yeah, work on your muscle mass, get your promo work under control.
So that's the end of it? That's all he wrote?
That's it. And you got
I got a 5?
You got a 5.
This guy is super strange.
Or he's got like the highest standards of anybody.
Yeah, like no one would be a 10.
So yeah, that was actually disappointing. I just knew that there was one 5 review, and I mentioned it on that first episode, and somebody asked why we didn't do it on the second episode, so there it is.
Super strange, man. Hey, do we have time to talk about Justice League?
Oh, absolutely.
Have you seen it yet?
Oh, absolutely not.
Oh, well then no, I don't want to talk to you about it. We'll talk about it after you see it.
All right, I will make that a priority for this week then.
Yeah. Just get FlowSlam to pay for it, because technically it's for the show.
See, the problem isn't paying for it so much as taking like a holiday weekend and convincing a pregnant woman that that's what we need to do.
I mean, I did it.
You not only did it, but you told me we couldn't record yesterday because you were surprised with tickets to it. So
that's true. I got a good wife.
Yeah, lucky you.
All right. Well, we'll talk about this next week because I want some feedback on. You know what? Here, I'm going to put this out to the fans. If you see Justice League, tweet at Brent. Brent, what's your Twitter?
At Brent Brookhouse, which you'd know if you fucking followed me.
No need for the F-bomb, but I understand. So if you send him the tweets, I'm just putting him on the spot right now. He will save them in a document for next week. Write a 280-character review of Justice League, non-spoiler if possible, so that we can read them on the air and discuss your thoughts, your opinions, what you thought of the movie. And because obviously both of us, Brent and I, big comic book fans. Obviously me more so because I already saw the movie. But so Brent, go see the movie. Make FlowSlam pay for it. It'll be great. Then let's talk about it next week. Send in your reviews at Brent Brookhouse. He will save them. We will discuss them.
Yeah, and can I mention the thank you for towards the end saying to send them to me and then finally mentioning non-spoilery.
Yeah, non-spoiler. But you'll see the movie before then anyway, so it doesn't matter.
All right, so last question that came in, which leads perfectly into the what you've got coming up, is will you be at Cage of Death?
Yes, I will. Ethan Page versus David Starr, one of my favorite opponents, is happening at Cage of Death, which I'm excited for because I'm guessing there'll be close to 1,000, if not more, people there. So yeah, I'm pumped. I'll be at Cage of Death. See you there, Tim Storm.
And we are recording right now on a Tuesday night, which is a day earlier than normal, and that is because you're working tomorrow.
I'm heading out to Knoxville, Tennessee for Bandit Pro Wrestling. By the time you hear this, I'll probably already have wrestled or be there or something. I don't know what Brent's doing, but yep, gonna be wrestling in Tennessee. Can't wait.
All right, and what do you know who you're wrestling?
Yes, Devin Driscoll. I'll be defending my Bandit Pro Heavyweight Championship. And then on Friday, I'll just continue this train. I'll be at AIW in Cleveland, wrestling Dominic Guarini at one of their biggest shows of the year, Hell on Earth. Very excited. Jody Fleisch will be there in some crazy four-way match with M-Dog 20. Can't wait to watch that. Hopefully do commentary. Love doing commentary. Then Saturday, I'll be at ESW in the Buffalo area. Biggest show of the year for them. I believe MVP's on that. Matt Seidel's on that. And the hottest free agent, Ethan Page. Then Sunday is the big Alpha One show. Biggest show of the year. Crazy stacked card, top to bottom. Keith Lee versus Kurt Stallion versus Alex Daniels in Alex Daniels' retirement match. DJZ versus Jody Fleisch, international showdown. All Ego Ethan Page versus Josh Alexander in a feud that is just hot fire right now. If we were playing EWR, it would be at 100%. With special guest referee Cody Rhodes. There is a huge four-way tag team match. Dude, there's so much stuff on this show. It's incredible. Huge intergender match. Jade Chung of Ring of Honor fame, Embassy Forever. She'll be taking on local talent Alessandra Del Bruno in a great story that's been told over 2 years. Honestly, if you could just go to the Alpha One Facebook page and watch the most recent videos that we've put up, there's some epic music video style storytelling that I just am so proud of. So please go out of your way and watch them. But the main event for this Sunday, which is the biggest match, it's the Alpha Male Champion, Kobe Durst, defending his title against the current CZW World Heavyweight Champion, Ricky Shane Page. And the story between those guys, again, we're talking 2 years in the making. We're a long-form storytelling company, and it's great to see things finally come to a close or progress to another level.
All right, we've got a couple minutes before we hit the hour mark that we like to try to get to. So the long-form storytelling, how much of that is circumstance and how much of that is fully planned out?
I would say 90% is fully planned out.
And are you writing from the end backward or front to back?
More so front to back, because it's easier for me if something happens, like let's say somebody gets an offer to do PWG. I'm not going to be like, well, screw you. I understand. So I'll give them, I'll kind of finesse around the fact that they're not there somehow and find a way around it.
Fair enough.
But always end goal in mind.
All right, right on. Okay, so let's see. Let's plug some stuff here. We, again, go to FlowSlam, watch Another Way to Get Paid with Ethan Page featuring DJZ. It's a really, really good time. All the weird stuff that happened makes it all the better, I think.
And it's free!
Right, it's a free shoot interview. It's like an hour and 2 minutes. And it's got really good stuff. DJZ talking about Hulk Hogan giving him advice, Bruce Pritchard signing him and not seeing anything in him, jerking off, pretty much everything.
Yeah.
And yeah, plug your stuff.
So I just plugged all my events, but this week, ProWrestlingTees.com Black Friday sale. I should be having 3 brand new designs drop on the website, so I'm very excited for that. So check them out. 20% off all of your orders. ProWrestlingTees.com/Ethan Page. Also, follow me on Twitter @OfficialEgo. Instagram is @official_ego. And I'll be having an article drop on Sports Illustrated this week, so check it out.
Oh, you actually have an article dropping on Sports Illustrated?
Yeah, because that video you watched.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was real.
All right, well, yeah.
Yeah, okay, go watch that video. Hold on. So you watched that video and thought I was joking?
Maybe.
I think people should learn. If I'm promoting something, aka my TNA contract with Taco Bell money and lawyer stuff and stuff, I'm not a liar.
Fair enough. So yeah, all that stuff. To all the listeners in the U.S., happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy your weekend.
And your turkey.
Absolutely. I've got all my stuff ready to go. Start cooking.
What's your favorite part of dinner?
It's gotta be the turkey.
Mine's the stuffing.
Fair enough. It's
I'm a bread boy, yeah.
I mean, it's kind of the everything. Like, give me all the food, but then again,
fair enough.
Then again, we're doing the thing where it's a podcast with a wrestler and then a fat guy with a beard, so that's my trope to fill, and I have a responsibility to eat a lot and continue filling my spot.
Yeah, man, you got a character to play.
Absolutely. So until next week, safe travels and everything, and we will talk then.
Sounds good. Thanks for listening to the Bitter Boys Club. #BBC. Don't click the hashtag. You will see some big black dicks.